Toy. What a beaut. What a beaut. Let me show you guys the picture. I just no now. Oh, now look at babe. Hey, family members. Hey. My people, how have you been? How have you been? Hey. You know I use this shades today because I want to see you people very well. All of you. Almost 2K subscribers. Can you believe? Can you believe that this YouTube channel we started like play is eating 2,000 freaking subscribers? Oh Jesus, 2,000 humans. How? Guys, I'm really so grateful to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I feel like we're going to be doing a party on this YouTube channel very soon. We're going to be throwing a party, doing giveaways. Who is ready? I don't know why I'm this playful today, but guys, really. Hi. Hello. How are you doing? I'm so excited to be with you once again. I'm super pumped. I'm super happy. I'm excited. You know how it feels when you're in a new age, Guys, how are you doing today? Today we have a very interesting conversation. Okay, so a friend of mine and I, were in a conversation recently, and then the person just popped up, and I'm like, okay, let's have a conversation around this because I have a different perspective to it, and she also has a different perspective. I'm like, what? Women talk, ladies talk, men talk, everybody should come along. So call your friends, call your male friends, female friends, everybody should come. Let's really have this conversation, right? And the conversation is around if you can, or if you sustain friendship with people that you have once been in a relationship with. Okay, guys, so as at the time we recorded this video, this was the initial title. But as the conversation began to, go on, I saw that it was taking a different tone. And I just let it flow because you know what? I just want the Holy Spirit to just minister to whoever is going to be watching this video, okay? I'm not going to change the title. I'm not going to be editing it. It's just going to be this way. So enjoy. So when I say relationship, I mean, marital, or relationship that should lead to marriage or with the marriage in mind and all of that. So can you still be friends with people like that, that you've had conversation of, can we be beyond friends? Can we get married or something? And maybe for one reason or the other, it didn't work. Can you still be friends with them? Or should you still be friends with them? Hi, Debbie, how are you doing? So Deborah Olujobi is here. Deborah is a married woman. So she's going to be giving us our own point of view from a married woman perspective. Hey. Debbie, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Yeah, this is your voice. Yeah, your face and your voice.
I can hear you.
Glowing. You said what?
No, I said I could hear you clearly, but it was breaking a little. But I think it's better now.
Oh, great! It has to be better because this conversation is a very serious conversation. It has to be better. I'm happy to see you. Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you. I know you are so busy, so thank you for sparing that time out of your very busy schedules. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube family members, meet Deborah. Meet Mrs. Deborah. I didn't even know how to call her Mrs. Deborah. Okay, so guys, Deborah is she's a sustainable fashion enthusiast. Yeah. She made the dress she's wearing. I love that she even, she came here with her brand. Like if people should notice my dress. Oh God. Really nice knitwears Deborah made. She made this muffler. What do you call it? Is this neck piece, muffler, or what?
Some people call it neck scarf, or I think the popular one that many people know it as is muffler.
Muffler. Okay, neck scarf muffler. She made it also. Yeah, I got it before I traveled down here. So you guys should patronize my friends. You should come out. You should come and buy what we are selling. So before I brought you in, Debbie, I already did like an intro to what we are having your conversation on today. The conversation we are having today is should you still be friends with people or persons that you had a relationship with? Relationship in the sense that This is beyond friendship, okay? We already had conversation. Okay, can it work between us? Can we be married and all that? Should you still be friends with people like that? Especially people that you already have some level of emotional connection with. If at the end of the day it didn't work out, or it didn't go as planned, should you cut off friendship with them? Should you still be friends with them? Well, like I said, I have a different opinion from yours. Personally, I don't think I should still be friends with anybody who I had an emotional connection with, right? And this is from my own perspective. And I'm even going to link it directly with exes, or, opening the X files. As much as I'm not ready to open my X files, but yeah, I feel like in the line of this conversation, I'm going to mention it. I've been in 2 relationships, and not boyfriend and girlfriend, though. So that anybody that is watching this now will not say, hey, Mary, no, not boyfriend and girlfriend. Relationship that were meant to lead to marriage. Okay, yeah, I feel like some persons know a bit of my story. Yeah, but it didn't work out. Okay, and I'm no longer friends with them, both of them. I'm not enemy with them, right? We're not enemies. If I see them on the road, or I will greet them, I'll talk to them, but I just do not see any reason why we should keep that relationship or friendship going. Like, what are we going to be talking about? I mean, these are people I once told, I love you, I love you in the most vulnerable moment. There's been a lot of emotional exchange, connection, and all that, but it didn't work out. I'm sorry, I don't think I can behave myself around those people. So why should I really still be friends with them? Or why should you still have, any, I don't know. What do you think? Let me hear from you.
Okay, so well, like we had a let me say a very brief briefing before we started. So let me just delve into the story, right?
Okay.
First, I think the answer to saying if you can still be in a relationship with your ex or not is it depends on how the relationship ended, or how each other ensured that the relationship ended.
Maybe what caused the ending.
The ending, exactly. Okay, so I'll share my own story, and I hope that in the middle of the story, you're able to pick 1 or 2 things. Anybody who is watching, who gets to watch, right? So the way I would begin, some people will say, that is the trend. But anyway. So I'm going back as far as when I just entered university, and this is me entering university. I was still very naive, but to an extent I knew what I wanted and I knew what I didn't want. But I was still naive, very shy. I had issues with self-esteem. So fast forward to when I met this person. So at the point I met this brother, I'd already built up my relationship back with God, because at the point it's not like I purposely left God, or I just drifted away somehow. I just drifted away. And as I drifted away, I knew that I needed to connect back. So nobody was preaching to me. Nobody was preaching to me that I need to connect back. I just knew that I was not where I was supposed to be. Right? So, and as at that time in university, there was no deeper life. But I was able to connect with a fellowship and through a friend. And that was how everything just picked up back. I was back in tune with God, and I was enjoying my relationship. So at this point, I needed to build friends that had value, right? And I knew what I was looking for in the friends I wanted to build. So one major thing was my spiritual life, which was like Coco for me, and then every other thing. So my friends were few, and then I think at this point I met this brother. So we were part of the people that started Deeper Life Campus Fellowship back in my school. While I was attending my own fellowship, somebody saw me and knew that I was Deeper Life.
No. When you say Deeper Life person, you can recognize person anywhere. I get. I get. We know ourselves.
So, and the person came to meet me. I was like, what church do I formally attend or something? I'm like, okay, this is church I attend. What happened? So somehow they came together, reached out to me and said they would like us to start something, even if it's just meeting once. And since it was my base, so I didn't have any issue. But I was juggling both fellowship, but at the point I had to leave. So we're part of the people that started Deeper Life, and obviously we had to be like closed, right? Because we were in charge of the fellowship, we were in charge of bringing people into the fellowship and all that. So at 300 level, I was staying in the school hostel, but at 300 level, I left because I just wanted to learn how to take care of responsibilities. That was why I left, not because I couldn't afford to be university campus. Or I wanted to know what is this to pay water bill, what is this to pay
stay
rent.
outside school. Yeah.
So because when my friends are saying all these things, I can't relate. So I just told my mom that please let me just try. At least I'm already in 300 level. Let me just try. So I moved out, and at this time, this brother and then the other brother who also has a sister. So let me say the brother we're talking about now is brother A. So if I bring any other brother in, maybe it's a brother B or a brother C.
Okay.
But the major brother we're talking about now is brother A. Okay. So brother A too was trying to get apartments, and then brother B, who was the major person that came to meet me for us to start the fellowship, who has a sister. So they needed to move out of where they were. So I was like, okay, so since this is the situation now, let's see how we can get an apartment like in the same compound, so we are not far from each other. Okay. But one way or the other, it didn't work out. Okay. So we had already made payments, like part payments, and so we were on holiday, and we had to go back to. So let me just chip it in. I did school in Nigeria, so I studied in Benin Republic. Okay. So we all had to go back to Nigeria. So by the time we come back, the story changed. So the only option we had was that all of us, we had to move in together. So we all had to move in together into an apartment. And so myself and the sister of brother B, we took a room. Then my brother A and brother B took another room. But now when you're leaders of church, your house have gone to house of church members. So people are looking to sports, people are looking to our house has literally turned to that. So it was no longer house for ourselves again. So we actually took that sacrifice. We knew what were the responsibility in our hands.
Yes, now as you people were the mommies and daddies of the fellowship.
So we just took it in. But funny enough, at this point there, it's looking like as if I knew I wanted to just take all the responsibility and I knew what I was doing. No, I didn't. I was just learning part because I was still very, very naive. I was still working on my self-esteem. So I still had a lot to learn. So as a leader, I still lived my life like normal girl and normal class, come back and all that, go to church, do your normal thing. But then brother A, who is a bit matured, is quite older than me. So and I think I'm same age with the last one and the first one, and he has 3 junior ones. So you can feel that there's the
gap. No, the difference is clear.
Very clear.
The difference is clear. 7 up, having a mountain dew.
So, but he didn't look it at all. But he behaved very, very maturely. Very, you just know that this one was mature. So he called me one day and said that, Deborah, you need to step up. And I was like, okay, step up as in, what am I? And Deborah, you need to step up. You're a leader now. You can't just be doing anything as you like. People are watching you. People are expecting from you. So now, please don't take this the wrong way because of the conversation that we are having, right? So just this part of the story, just look at it as in a very non-biased way.
Okay.
So he was like, and it really helped. It changed everything about the way I saw things. So he called me and said, okay, I know that you just want to live your life, but now you can't just do anything as you like because you're now
you are a leader. Yeah, that's right.
You need to step up. Spiritually, you need to step up. Academically, step up. In the way that you do your things, you need to step up. So, and then he gave me assignments. He gave me Bible passages to read and meditate on. Anyway, I wasn't stubborn. So, I needed to grow. I wanted to grow myself. So I think at that point I was not even sanctified or baptized. I was just normal. So I took the challenge, and I decided to just watch myself and assume the role that I'd already taken. So I began to read all those Bible passages and began to step up, as he said. So so once I'm done with my assignment, I give feedback. And so
To him.
so I don't make this too long. So that's how I continue to grow. And through this, he was always there to help. Now, he wasn't always there to help only me. He was very open to everybody.
Everybody.
It was very open. In fact, if the person who was our GC, he would scold that one too and call it that, okay, you're a pastor, you're not just a student. So like you have to behave yourself. And and it really helped the fellowship too, because he was coming from a matured like he had this matured mindset, and he was very mature. So I would deliver my assignments and do them. And if there's any issues spiritually too, I'll also reach out to him, and he will explain and all that. So that was how the relationship grew.
Right.
And I think another thing that made it easy for things to easily grow with us was because we are all staying together, right? I began to see him as that big brother that I did not have, and someone I could trust. Through him, I was able to like pursue and focus on getting my sanctification experience, right? And then also it was through him too, I was able to like push to get my baptism experience. So how I was trying to explain how I got that was a campus congress that used to bring back then. I think they used to hold in Ibadan.
Okay.
Yeah. So but now I don't think it's now. Exactly. Yes, that's the place.
Yeah. I want that.
Yes, that's the place. Yeah. So you can the experience is actually almost out of this world.
I know.
Like,
I know. It's
so
compared to nothing.
I didn't
really.
know that he was for that. Yes, yes. So I didn't even know that he was coming for the congress, right? So while I was there, I met him. He met me actually. So and there was one question he asked me, was like, Deborah, what are your expectations from this congress? And funny enough, I actually came without expectations. I just wanted, I had heard so much about the congress. I just wanted to be there, like,
to enjoy yourself.
Right, with other campus members. So and that first night, I just went back. I didn't have expectations, but one thing I told God was that, okay, well, I didn't come with any written expectations or what God wants me, what I want God to do for me. Well, I just said, God, help me to experience you in every session, to the serving of the food, to the ushering, to the singing, to the prayer, to every single thing, even staying in the hostel. I was like, oh, please let me just experience you in every session of this program. And and I really did. God answered my prayer. I really did experience, even to the food that was served, and to the way ushers did their ushering, to even to the person that sat beside me, sat in my front. I actually did learn. There's nothing I can't say I didn't learn from that program, right? And that's why today I can still remember. And so it was through that program I got baptized in the Holy Spirit. And so for a very naive girl who was growing, who wanted more of God, and had somebody who was pointing her in that direction. What's the next thing?
What else are you looking for? Your prayer has been answered.
So I just clung, I just stuck with him, right? So I was always looking forward to when we would see, we would talk, and he was very open, right? So, but I think now the reason why I can say it was very open with other people is because I had a reflection as at the point where I started seeing I had to make a decision. Let me say that. But as at this time, in as far back as 2013, I was not seeing him as like open to everybody.
You thought it was not only you,
right? So, and then when we started receiving more people, and so people, and he was now the choir master and assistant general coordinator. So I was in the choir also. So we had more choir members, we had more people in fellowship, and attention attention was divided. Mary, why are you giving me that face?
Hey, you see, let me not lie to you, eh? You see all these choir master and choir members. I don't like it. Oh my God.
I knew you were going to say that. I master. So nobody should generalize choir masters, I beg, because I knew you were going to say this. Because I actually don't say this story often, right?
I know.
But like the very first time I said, okay, so let me just continue. Then I'll get back to the part where I give you reflection and all that. So since we're in the same school, right, and his department was not part of mine. So if I was done in classes and maybe it was free or something, and I had maybe something to discuss, I could just easily dash into his department. I don't know if want to eat and if I'm hungry or so we can easily just go to, there's a place they call Tonti in my school. So Tonti, like aunt, is a French, like the French Fon. Fon is the language of the Benin Republic. Like we have Yoruba, Igbo and all that. So they have Fon. That's their language apart from French that they speak. So Tonti is like auntie or something. So but the reason why they call her Tonti is because she acts like an auntie and she sells food and anything that you want to buy. Okay. So you go to Tonti, buy stuff, eat.
Together.
Any other. Sure.
Continue.
Okay, so at this point, I was just saying it as like a blessing. Like I had someone that I could trust and depend on and reach out for needed to understand something in the word, and then I had someone that could actually do that for me. So I just continued like that, but then obviously affection grew. And funny enough, I would always talk to God about it, like, okay, so I'm going to be very sincere in this story.
Please. I'm interested in the sincerity. In fact, I'm sure a lot of people are also interested in the sincerity.
So so I think at either at 400 level, yes, at 400 level, and I think God did something for me. And God was really merciful to me, and he kind of knew my heart. I knew that Deborah, I have somewhere that I want you to get to, but it be like say your mind knows you don't
lose God. No, I say you don't lose God. Hey.
Okay, so my mind was already in marriage, and I think if I want to think about it back then now, I think one of the major reasons is because I just felt like I was going to get married to him. Like, what else am I looking for? He has everything, and maybe I just, maybe how we used to think then that maybe he's the one that God has sent for me and all that. So somehow it was just kind of blocked and zeroed in my mind that he was, or there was still like a future. There's still a lot in front. Like, don't just zero your silver out of me. I didn't listen to it. I kind of shoved it. I kind of shoved it aside, right? So I still felt like, okay, it was the one that God wanted me to get married to. And like, we're going to get married. So it was just, I just needed to finish school and all that. When I was about to, I closed the convocation. So my mind was not really on marriage, and I was not doing anything in preparation. I was not really praying or like developing myself or trying to get ready for marriage. So this was what happened. After workers' meeting, our leaders were French people, French leaders, but they understood English. So they made them, I think one of our leaders, he studied English as a course in university. So they were the ones that were our leaders, but their French was still very strong anyway. So one of them, who is the one that's the senior leader, who didn't study English, but he just knew how to speak English because I think he does a lot of traveling. Okay. So he just called me one after workers meeting and called me. I was like, okay, Deborah, what do you think about the word of God? I'm like, okay. So like, have you heard me say before? Have you? So Asha, as I was asking me those questions, I was wondering why because my leader does not, has never called me for this kind of conversation before. Ah, but anyway, I just tried not to think too much about it. So I just answered these questions and all that, not knowing that someone had carried my name to MC over there, and I was to see the MC the next day. But my leader did not say anything. So,
one day, 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 one day. You see, this will of God in marriage matter. We will still, all of us will come and talk about it on this channel. Because, hey, let me keep quiet.
Okay, so Isha had asked me all those questions. I gave him a response and said, okay, no problem. Then the next day, my leader just came after church. My leader just said, okay, that I should go to the central church, which was quite far away from us and from our school. It was quite a distance. So he said I should go to the central church, that when I get to the central church, I should ask, just give me a name that I should ask for the name. He didn't say any other thing for that. I was wondering, I was like, okay, I was like, maybe as far as I'm a leader here now, maybe there's an assignment that I need to. So I just took my time before I went because we had meetings after church and all that. So I just took my time. By the time I got there, I met, I think, one woman, and I got there, spoke French, and told them the research. I mentioned the name and all that. They're like, we've been waiting for you. I'm like, excuse me, waiting for me to see how.
What's going on here?
I'm like, problem to me. Waiting for me how? Anyway, I didn't say it. I didn't say that. It was just in my mind. So like, we are waiting for you. Today is marriage committee meeting, and waiting for you. Like, okay, just come inside. Like, marriage committee. How? Yeah. I know funny enough. The reason why I was asking myself all these questions was my mind, as in my mind was not even in marriage or anything, even though like I was there in my mind somebody else, but my mind was not there, right? And I was still young. I think I was just 20. Wow. I think I just clocked 20, or I was about clocking 20, and I was in 411. So I'm like, Ejo, Bawo.
From where to where? Do you people even know how old I am? Before you are telling me to go to my So when I entered inside, so they're now telling me that this is the marriage committee, that they're waiting for me, that somebody had brought my name, and so that they needed to see me and all that. So they asked me my age. So I told them my age. They're like, okay, so I'm still young. You will have to tell the person to wait. I've not gotten to the I think marriage committee. They are not ripe enough.
I've not gotten to the marriage committee age, right? So and that so now said okay that they will get back to the person, and that I should just, when I get back, I should attend women's seminars, because when they ask me that do I attend women's seminars or marriage seminars, I'm like, oh wait, right. What do I do there for? But I did not say this. I just told them no, I don't attend all those. I don't attend all those things. And because we're in campus fellowship now, so we didn't organize all those kind of programs, and we're still trying to come up then, and we're still trying to bring people in. So it was much later that we started having sisters program, and the sisters program was something for us to benefit ourselves, like how you can have extra cash, right? Skills that you can develop for yourself.
No marriage.
How you do you get? So it was much later that I think when we had another program, then they added a marriage to it and all. So they just advised me that I should go and start attending all those programs and all that. So let me say something here that will make all of you laugh, but it's just something that some of us also do. I think that we also need to watch it. But the thing is that if you do it, it's not, you're not going to die or somebody's going to accuse you, but you just need to watch it. So
hey, let me know if I'm guilty or not.
And you know that, so you know I've already spent like 3 years, no, more than 3 years, because I did a French program before I started my real degree. So as at that time, I was already going to 5 years in Republic of Benin. So I and when I was in the French program, right, I was attending the church, so I've seen all these possible brothers, like all the Beninois brothers, how they dress, the way they look, the way they think, how they carry themselves, and all. So when they told me that one brother, I'm like, which brother? I look at myself from head to toe. Which Beninois brother wants to take care of me? Who?
Did you not shake Benin people? Did you? Oh no! Let me know. I won't allow you to
But
do
please,
that.
it's not all Beninois are like that.
Yeah.
Don't forget, there's some fine touch Beninois.
I beg you. No, why not?
Seriously, there's some of them that actually have money, but they will not carry themselves that they have the money or have connection. Because there's a way that they carry themselves. Even if you watch their news, right? Even to the president, to the people in leadership, the way they carry themselves, they kind of have this culture that they just want to like stick to, especially in their dressing, the way they talk, right? So even for the people that have traveled outside the country, when they even come back, they're still like that. So you will not really know that they have money. They have money, oh. So there are some people that have money that will just be hiding under. So, but anyway, that was my thinking then. But obviously, you know that it was just a young mind thinking, and so I just looked at myself. I'm like, this is that better now that carrying my name. I want to take care of me. They owe me.
They owe you. They owe young graduates. Hey, they don't know what that is.
So, but anyway, what that did to me actually, it was like a wake up call. Because I went back home now and like marriage. And I'm like, okay, this one is actually attending seminar and all that. So in the middle of all of this, and that 400 level was actually a very, very shaky year for me because I was doing projects in school. I was also doing some extra programs outside school. So all of them, everything was, and I was a leader in church. Everything was just mixing up. That 400 level was, I don't even know, was a very wonderful year. And you know that it's a year that, and that was my final year. And so you have to be sure that I had a grade, or how will I say, I had a CGPA that I wanted to achieve because I had something else I needed to achieve, and I needed at least
that's the point. Yeah.
You get. So I had to retake some courses that I had to, because the reason why I had to retake was because there was one lecturer like that in 100 level. She's a woman, I don't know. There's nothing, she does not derive any, she derives happiness from giving you a D or something. So my 100 level, I'm telling you, my 100 level, I had a very wonderful result. But because of this woman D that she gave me, and I took her courses, like 4 of her courses or 3 of her courses in 100 level. So that D just dragged my results down, like dragged my CGPA down. So but when I got to 400 level, I had an opportunity to take those courses again. So I grabbed the opportunity. So I was doing more than the courses I was supposed to do at that 400 level. So everything was just jamming and all that. So it wasn't really a fun 400 level for me. So at this point, when I had this, let me say, call it an encounter with this marriage community, it was like a wake up call to me, right? And then also at this point, things to an extent went quite far between me and brother A. So so this is something at this point, this is where I want people to really listen to so that you are able to make the right decision, right? So I knew the things was already going too far. At the point it was like I could not control myself, or I had to tell myself, I have to ask myself again, what is the goal of your life?
So when you say things were going too far, you meant the friendship was now now beyond just ordinary friendship, right?
Yes, it was beyond ordinary friendship. So we are even taking, which I actually don't want to even mention here. I don't want to say anything about that here.
I get.
So I just so we called ourselves together, myself and brother A, and that was after both of us separately had already done our own self-reflection and we called ourselves together. I'm like, okay, so we know that we are leaders in church, right? But beyond being leaders in church, we are children of God and want to make heaven.
Correct.
And in everything that we are doing, the cocoa is that we want to make heaven. If Jesus Christ come now and we don't do this, is it repentance or restitution or whatever, it's not going to be okay. No, we are not going to go to heaven. So I just, so we decided ourselves that we're going to report ourselves to the leadership and whatever decision is upon us. And we kind of knew what was the kind of decision. But brother A was like the people, I told you from the beginning he was very mature and he's older than all of us, right? But he doesn't look it. He actually doesn't look it. So like yes, he knows, but it was like the other people will be able to make right decision or they might not take it maturely. But anyway, I just said they are the leaders as of now. So let's just go. So we made a decision and then we reported ourselves to the leadership.
Very
Right. I think I was the first person who took the step, like to us reporting ourselves. So we reported ourselves to the leadership and said, okay, so this is what has happened between us. And everybody also knows that we're actually close because we're almost always together. So and so it was by the time we reported ourselves and they called us separately and some of the sisters, the two sisters that stood as the sister welfare then. So I was not the sister welfare, even though I was part of the people that started. And the reason is because I was leaving already. So they needed somebody who was going to stay. So I was not sister welfare or assistant sister welfare anyway. So I understood that. So I just played my other roles in fellowship. So and one of them just looked at me and was like, I asked me one question that I looked at myself. I I decided not to feel bad because I brought it upon myself.
Is that was the question?
So as in, okay, she was like, that are you having issues at home? Is it that your parents can't pay your fees or something?
No, that was too much. Are you serious?
Like, are you having issues at home? Do you have any issues at home? Like, anyway, I knew I was for leadership, so I respected myself and I said no. I said no. So and since I already had my mind prepared that obviously they are going to discipline us, we're not going to be able to work in the leadership anymore or work or do something and all that. For me, it was not too bad for me because I was already leaving. But he was the one he was still around. So he was the one that was going to face all the questions, people in fellowship like, why is brother A not working in church again? But me, I was leaving because I was graduating already. So it was really but I knew that it was very important for us to do because
no sentiments.
Because for me, it was I think not just for me, I think for both of us, we knew that beyond all of this, the cocoa is your relationship with God is the most important thing. And to that you are right with God at every point. So it's not bad if you fall, it's not bad if you sin, but it is bad if you stay, right? And you, especially when you know that you are falling or you're sin, and then you decide to now stay there, right? So, but we decided not to, and we knew that what we had done was wrong. So we just reported ourselves. And one of the punishments was that they don't want to see us together. We should not eat together. We should not. They don't even want to see us together, even though we're staying, even though we're staying together. So we're staying in the same apartment and all that. So the thing is that this is what we did. So brother A was like, fine, I've reported myself. I have done what I'm supposed to do, and I'm not going to serve in church until when I am called off of the people. But the don't talk together, we don't want to see people together, and
It's
all
not
that.
possible.
He didn't agree with that. So, but he agreed that what we had done was wrong, and we needed to take that step to report ourselves. But the fact that we don't see each other, or we don't talk together, or even if we should not talk together or anything, he didn't see it as part of. He didn't see it as something that we actually help to solve the issue, or will help us to stay away from sin or something. He didn't see it as that. And for me also, anyway, I was still how would I say? Well, because he was more matured and
you just followed along with the line of conversation, with the line of thoughts. I mean, this is coming from a mature person now. It doesn't make sense. I get.
Like, he knows what he's doing. He's more mature than me. So he knows what he's doing and he knows what to do, right? So yeah, I just followed along. I mean, since I was leaving, so I didn't have much people to ask me questions like what happened, you guys are undisciplined. And it actually took a while for the leadership to tell the whole church that we were undisciplined. Or not the whole church, rather the workers. Or they had to tell the workers that we're no longer going to serve. So but for me, I didn't have that issue of people asking me why or something like because I was leaving already. So so we still kept in touch, obviously, while I was in school, for the short time I still had in school. So we talked, we still went out, right? So but not like he would see us the normal way that we go together. Maybe I will just have to come and meet him and we'll talk and all that, if for any reason that we had any discussion to engage in. So but back to me, right? I I decided to become more serious about myself, to prepare myself for the marriage, right? To see where I was and what I needed to do. So I started to read books. So first, because as at that time, I was not sure of what I wanted to do after convocation. Because if you ask, in fact, Brother A was always angry, was, how would I say, was always unhappy. Let me not use the word angry, was always unhappy when he asks me, okay, after convocation, now that you graduated, what do you want to do? And my response is always, I don't know. And he's like, why would you say you don't know at this stage? Please go and think about
graduates.
So it was, so at the point I was even getting ashamed of myself, and I didn't want people to be asking me, what do you want to do after graduation or something. So I decided to get books. I started reading, right? And when I mean reading, it's not like I didn't read before, but this time around, intentional reading for the purpose of trying to understand or get clarity. So I read this book by Miles Monroe, Maximize Your Purpose, I think. Maximize Your Potential or something. Then you also a book on purpose too. So I read those two books, and man, my eyes were open, and I just knew, Deborah, marriage, like we are not ready.
Calm down. Calm down.
Kojo, you are not at all. So another book. Then at that time, my parents at that 400 level after convocation, my parents started a new business of selling books. So I had the privilege of going to shop books with them. So when I got there, then I found one book. I think the title of the book is, I don't know how I forgot that title of that book. I think God, not the title, but I can't find that book anywhere again. God, I think God matchmaker, or God is a matchmaker, or God a matchmaker. I can't remember exactly the title, but that book was like a saving grace for me, right? I got to understand what it means for God to actually be your matchmaker. Then when you allow yourself, you submit yourself for God to actually choose for you and matchmake you the person that He wants you to be. I started reading that book, then I got to understand that you actually get the best when you are able to submit yourself for God to choose for you. But the thing is that there is actually a preparation phase, right, before you even enter marriage, because marriage is not for small people. It's not for small children. It's not for girls. It's not for boys. So, and in that book, I was able to understand that there is spiritual maturity needed. Every day, you have to be financially mature.
That's right. That's right.
Then emotionally mature, you have to be emotionally mature also. And I think you mentioned 4 things, but I think that's the things I can remember. So I began to check myself and look at myself. I'm like, no,
I never mature.
no, I never. And that spiritual maturity was cocoa. I never spiritually. So then from the book, I was able to see things I needed to do and things I needed to put in place. And it was not just about now these things in this book was not just now about marriage alone. It was about a total
Your own self.
right? So marriage was like the how would I say the base or like the foundation. But every other thing that you have to do is not now just for marriage, but it's actually for your own self. That book opened my eye, like made me to see how bare I was. So I read the book and then I started to implement. And so from there, I I had a delay for my NYC because I think that period there was a what do you call this thing election.
Okay.
So the year I was supposed to serve, I think I was supposed to go in February. I think they called that June, so then I remember. So but we couldn't go that period because it was election. So they had to move it to like May. So I finished in August. So I had almost like it was almost a year at home. That a year at home, I delved into reading of Bible, studying Bible. I know my parents were just opening a new bookstore. So I stayed as a corporatio leader when I was in school also. So and that helped me to and my roommate was that's brother visitor that we stayed together. She was in accounting. So she also showed me how to do some small accounting. And I transferred it into that my bookstore. My parents right? I completely took over. And that was how I began to know that business is for me. Seriously. As in a lot of things happened in that period. I knew I got to know that business was for me and I started looking for knowledge as in I was hungry for knowledge of how to build a business, how to what it is for you to start a business, to sustain a business and all that. So in fact to a point that my father was like, this is my daughter. It's like this business.
Is this my daughter?
Business as in she has completely taken over. And I would go to shop, open the shop, clean. I would dress like someone that was going to work.
Correct.
Right?
Office girl.
I would dress like someone that was going to work. My friends would be at home. I would arrange everything, do all that. Then when customers are not yet have not come or customers are not around yet, I would sit down, I would study the Bible, I would read book. On my red book.
Like even you were shocked. Is this me?
I read the word and seriously, this period opened my eyes to a lot of things and some things that I was already keeping in my mind, broke them down and all that. But I still had that tiny little that's brother A, even though brother A was in Benin Republic and I was in Nigeria. So but when we were still in communication over the phone. We'll still talk on WhatsApp and I think Facebook and sometimes calls and all that. Then I'll share all the experiences that I'm having, very happy with me that I'm growing and all that. So at what point I was just watching, right? Because since I was no longer with brother A, so there was no way for me to be able to know. So I started having doubts if he still had mind for me or something like that and all that. But I knew brother A there was something I wanted brother A to be able to do that he didn't do. Brother A was a yes person. He hardly says no, right? Anybody goes to him for help. See, even to the last in his hand, he will give. He doesn't say no. To the last in his hand. And one thing I noticed is that there was no time he would say I don't have. That's the funny thing. I learned that act of giving from him, the act of giving, and the fact that as you keep giving, you keep you keep getting replenished. Like it doesn't get dry. Because every time, not just me, I'm talking about other people in fellowship that will always reach out to him. And because of the way he carried himself also, you can never see brother A and not give him respect. Not because he has this shoulder pad or he looks so mature, like you know that this one is maybe he's old and he's older than us. No, he doesn't have that face. But the way he carried himself and the way he behaved, you would just give him that respect. In fact, if you disrespect him, you yourself, you feel bad for yourself. That was the kind of
Wow.
you you will feel bad for yourself that you disrespected him. And people will come and talk to you that how far you say
How could you? our dear brother, how could you?
As in, and it's not like he will talk to you as you disrespected him or something like that. He will not smile and go through, right? So, but you know, to an extent, there's a way that you can say no that other people won't feel bad, right? You know, there are some points that you still need to say no. So I just wanted to see that in him. I don't know. I just felt like
why are you always saying yes to everything?
You understand? So I'm like, how would I marry somebody that every time yes, 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 yes? No, there's no no. You know that.
There is no. Wow, there are people like that. That's amazing to know. I'm telling you.
So to me, I felt like that part of him just kind of tells me that maybe he's not matured enough. That was my one understanding. So I think for one reason, when I finally when I wanted to get my certificates, so I had to go back to school. But there was a point that there was a mistake in my certificate. So I didn't get the I didn't get something. You know, I told people in the beginning I was looking for something.
Yeah.
So by the time I go back, so what they did for us in school was before our convocation, they pasted our results and our grades.
Wow.
Right. So I knew this was my grade and this is what I had. Okay, it was only the grade they pasted actually. So but from where you do your course registration and all that, you can actually get all your courses from 100 people and all your grades for each of them, what you had and all that. So I had all of that, right? And all of that information. So by the time I got my certificate, I was saying something different. So people were like, you even got the certificate on time. You better be thanking God. You want to go back and work on it. You will sleep. For me, I should said, oh God, me, I'm going to school. I don't know anybody. I don't have money to pay anybody, but I'm going to school. Right. Me, I've come back and tell people that I changed myself. I changed my course. I did change my record and all that. So by the time I go back, and you know how it's very praying to God about something is actually very key. Yeah. And I think I've been doing prayer since.
It's very key.
Because I've heard stories of people that graduated and for a long time they're not able to get their certificates, one issue or the other. I'm like, I don't have time for that. I don't have the strength for that kind of back and forth, and I hate back and forth a lot. I hate it. Especially if they are just on one issue and you're back and forth, for what? So me, I started my own prayer from that 100 level because I don't want to.